One Mr. Wall from Canada was disfellowshipped by the Watchtower organization. He took the matter to court and it reached as high as the Canadian Supreme Court. A Jehovah's Witness lawyer goes to court and lies about the disfellowshipping policy of Jehovah's Witnesses. I do an open letter to the lawyer. A Jehovah's Witness chooses to rebut, to imply that I am wrong and that the lawyer spoke the truth. Says Happy One, "Sir, did you actually watch the whole 3¼ hours of the proceedings or just the portions that other people have shown? If you have watched the whole proceedings, then you did so with prejudice and not an open mind." I suppose he meant to say, if I did not watch the whole proceeding. If you watched only the portions that others have put up, then you don't have the full story. Your presentation here shows your lack of knowledge about Jehovah's Witnesses. It also shows that you did not understand what the proceedings in that court was about. I confess, I have not watched the whole 3¼ hours of the proceedings. I started watching. I read about the account. I know what the case is about. I do not have to watch the entire proceedings to be in a position to comment on what the lawyer said. Your comments about the small portion that you have shown here greatly distort the facts. It was not about the general practice. It was about the general practice. The comment that Wall made was about the Jehovah's Witness policy on disfellowshipping. And I commented on his comment about the general policy of Jehovah's Witnesses. He was at that point discussing what Jehovah's Witnesses do on the subject of disfellowshipping. It was not about the general practice. The court case was about one man and his family. It was a family dispute. What is wrong with these people? This person comes accusing me of not understanding what the matter in court was about and is now claiming it was a family dispute. What does he understand by family dispute?
Judicial Committee of the Highwood Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses versus Randy Wall.
It was a civil case. The man had been disfellowshipped because he had a habit of getting drunk and would not listen to counsel about that. Normal family interactions continue when the person lives in the family home. They do not participate in family spiritual conversation. The lawyer did not lie or mislead in that court case. Nothing he said was false. The problem is that you did not listen to the context clearly.
The elders came to the decision that Mr. Wall was not sufficiently repentant for his disgraceful conduct, and the congregation elders took the decision to disfellowship him. That word is used by Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses don't use the word shun or shunning. They refer to it as disfellowship, disfellowshipping, disfellowshipped, because that really gives the sense of what's taking place within this particular religious community. Disfellowship literally means no further spiritual fellowship with the individual. And as I point out, sorry, Chief Justice, as I point out at paragraph 22 of my factum, the nature of the relationship then of a disfellowship person is not completely shunned. The disfellowshipped person is able to come into the congregation, to the congregation meetings. They're able to attend in the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. They're able to sit wherever they like. They can sing the spiritual songs with the congregation. As far as their family members are concerned, normal family relations continue with the exception of spiritual fellowship. And the door is not closed to Mr. Wall either. The person who is disfellowshipped can, after a period of time, ask to be reinstated in the congregation.
I don't need to get into the specific case. I am responding to the general comment that Mr. Nam made. Or I heard someone from Canada calling him Mr. Gnam. So I don't know. I thought the G is silent. But if I'm wrong, let me continue to make the G silent. And if I have mispronounced the name, I apologize. But I thought the pronunciation, I still believe the correct pronunciation, until he tells me otherwise, is Nam. Mr. Nam commented specifically on the general rule of the organization, the general policies regarding shunning. I've addressed Mr. Nam and asked him to give clarification. If what he was talking about there was the specific case, he has the opportunity to make that clarification. But I submit to you that the court would have been given the impression that this is the policy. So if he was very craftily speaking specifically to Mr. Wall's case and Mr. Wall's case alone, or cases similar to his, the court would not have been given the impression that this is the exception, but it is the rule. That is what Mr. Nam presented in court. Now, having been challenged about not watching the full proceeding, I decided, well, even before this comment, I decided to watch the full proceedings. I'm still not through watching it, 3.25 hours. But I went on to watch some more, and oh my, some gems came in that thing. As a matter of fact, it was a very, very, very interesting hearing, because the line of argument that Nam is really presenting is that the court really has no jurisdiction here. It's a private religious matter that Mr. Wall should not be asking the court to intervene on. That was something the lawyers were to make their submissions on that. But Wall went on to say something else that I previewed.
The religious belief is we're just getting together to share our common values based on the Bible, our common beliefs. And if you like that, great. We welcome the public to come and attend with Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you don't, that's your personal choice. And after a time, if you've been associated with Jehovah's Witnesses and you think this is not for you, you don't come again. You stop.
I am accusing this man of just being downright dishonest. I am accusing him of that. Let him defend himself. Because he is trying to give the impression as though this religion is just so harmless, that you can come and you can associate with them, and if you feel like you no longer wish to associate with them, no problem. You're free to go and everything is hunky-dory. What if you associate with them for years and you become an unbaptized publisher? And then you've discovered that the faithful and discreet slave is garbage. That the doctrines taught by this organization is foolishness. You've discovered that the blood transfusion policy is false. You discover that Jesus did not return in 1914. You discover that this religion just keeps changing their doctrines and you can't put up with the nonsense anymore, and you stop. what happens then? Everything is all right? This man is a liar. This man is a deceiver. This man is trying to paint, as the governing body does, trying to paint a much more rosy picture of what this religion is about. It is not so rosy. It is not so beautiful as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and Jehovah's Witnesses know that I am sitting here speaking the truth, and that Mr. Wall, and that Nam is being deceptive. He is painting a rosier picture than exists in reality. And he's not done.
It's not Lakeside Colony. Jehovah's Witnesses are in the community. Their kingdom halls are open to the public. There's no isolated community.
So there's no sin for a member of the congregation to continue business with Mr. Wall even though he has been disfellowed. Is that what you're saying? In other words, could someone be brought up on the carpet in the Jehovah's Witness religion for associating with someone who has been disfellowed and continuing to provide them business?
The answer, Justice Moldaver, is as I gave to Justice Wilson when he asked me the same question, is it's a personal decision. Members make their personal decision based on their religious conscience, but it is a group value because it's part of the religious practice of discipline. Disfellowship is a discipline. And so if a member of the congregation was willfully associating with someone who was disfellowshipped, the elders would likely visit that person, talk to them, and try and reason with them why, as a religious value, they should not associate with that person as long as they're disfellowshipped.
So tell me, Happy One, is he now speaking specifically about Mr. Wall? Is he now just addressing a family dispute? Or is he speaking generally about Watchtower policy, Watchtower culture? And when I tell you that he is not speaking specifically about the case, but that he's speaking generally, would you dare still to tell me that I'm taking him out of context? And with that, I share with you a comment from a viewer. Carol. But he also stated previously in his statement that disfellowshipping was only to do with not engaging on spiritual matters with a disfellowshipped person. If this is true, then why would the elders need to visit a member who chose to do business with one who is disfellowshipped? I really can't believe that a lawyer and someone who claims to be of Jehovah could blatantly lie. I believe that when the Jehovah's Witness organization is being examined, someone who knows about the organization, who is not friendly to the organization, should be in court. You need a Winston Gilling or a Lloyd Evans or a Mike and Kim, anybody who understands this religion, to be in court, to call these people out when they lie like that. And it is rather interesting that Carol picked up on it, but the justices at the Supreme Court did not. And I do not want to be disrespectful to the court now. You know, the proceeding is long, and I can forgive if you never connected some dots, especially because the issues that they as justices are looking on are not intricately these things. But as I said, at this point they were looking on the whole matter of the word is slipping me, I'm losing my train of thought. Jurisdiction. But he stated that you can have fellowship with a person, just not spiritual fellowship. So if someone were to be doing business with Mr. Wall, would that be spiritual fellowship? Why would elders then need to speak with them, Mr. Nam? Why? And you mentioned that the elders would speak with them and encourage them, tell them why they should not have this, what, spiritual, business, fellowship. What then, Mr. Wall, if after the elders suggest to them that they do not continue to fellowship with this person, they do not listen to the elders and continue? I wish one of the justices had asked you that, but they did not. Man, do I wish I could be a participant in a hearing like this. One can dream. Why not?
Sorry, standing. Members should generally do things to help that person, could be economically, and in other words, Mr. Wall's a real estate broker. If you're going to buy a house, go to Mr. Wall.
That would not be promoted in the congregation.
That's not promoted.
Not at all, Justice Moldaver. In fact, the evidence is to the opposite. The evidence in the affidavit from Mr. Dixon is that the congregation is encouraged not to use the congregation as a basis for business relationships.
Just as an aside, I just found this a little weird. I remember a few years ago, two brothers from a congregation to which I belong started a pharmacy. And the church was so proud of them. They were both pharmacists working with a pharmacy. They both were employed by the same pharmacy. I think it was the same pharmacy. And they branched out on their own and started their new business. We felt proud of them. And it was announced in church that brothers James and McNally have started a pharmacy. And everyone was so proud of them. And we were encouraged to support them. Would that be wrong, Jehovah's Witnesses? Would that be wrong, Watchtower? Did my church elder, because it was another elder who made the announcement, did my church elder violate some biblical principle? Could it be said that they were using the church to promote their business? And would it have been wrong for the elder to let us know that our brothers are in business and we should support them? What would be wrong with that? Anyhow, this corporation, this society, apparently has it as a rule that is prohibited. They're right. They're right. But the other question is Mr. Nam speaking the truth? Because one of the things that I have heard about Jehovah's Witnesses is that they support each other. That's one of the things that Jehovah's Witnesses are known for on the positive side. So, how do they know to support each other? Is it that they are supposed to recommend supporting each other, but not in a meeting, not in a congregation setting? How is it done? Because there can be nothing wrong with encouraging your brethren to support one another in business. Weird. But is he speaking the truth? And so I wish to say to Happy One, I stand by my position that Nam was lying through his teeth in court when he said that normal family relations continue. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching this video and have yourselves a wonderful day.
May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.